Hello and welcome to the Board Games family. I'm Facundo, my partner Natalia and Julia are the rest of the family, and we do reviews and impressions and unboxings of everything from kids games to heavy Euro and war games. Today we have one of my absolute favorite games, Root. I don't know what to say about Root that haven't been said already. It's an amazing, fantastic game. It's a game that is an asymmetric, mostly 4-player war game, but it has this layer on top of fantastic art by Kyle Ferrin that just makes it look like a kids game, basically. My daughter asked me, the first time she saw this game, she asked me, is this a kids game? And I had to agree with that assessment because, I mean, look at the drawings. They're amazing. And I will show you some of the cards and some of the pieces as well. They are absolutely adorable. But below the layer of cuteness, there's a really hardcore war game that is actually based on the coin system by GMT Games, which in turn was designed by a CAA employee. So you can imagine what kind of foundations or inspiration this game has. The coin series, it's a Counter-Insurgency. You can think about Cuba and the militia, for example, and the guerrillas. The designer of the game is Cole Wehrle, and in different interviews he has explained in detail what he based each one of the factions on, but they have all parallels into real-world factions or societies or countries or whatever. So it's really a work of art. I think it's one of the most popular games out there right now. The game has 4 expansions. The 4th one is still in Kickstarter and it's going to be sent out soon. 3 of those expansions have 2 factions each, and the 4th one that hasn't been out yet, it has 3 factions. So that makes a total of 13 factions in total that you can play. So the base game has 4 factions, as I mentioned. It's a super asymmetric game. Outside of the some basic of how you can move, the way you can play cards, that basically you do something called crafting, which all of the factions will have something like that to make. And then the fact that you need to win with 30 victory points or in a domination kind of victory. And the fact that all the actions from the factions are split in Berson, Daylight and Evening, which is like roughly 3 stages to your turn. Then everything else in each one of the factions is completely different. And that actually makes this game quite a challenge to teach to people and to learn initially, because it's outside those very basics, it's quite a different experience per player. And it also means that in order to be proficient in it, you not only want to know your faction, you want to know everyone's faction. So you know how to counter whatever strategy they are trying to play. So in the base game you have the Marquis the Cat, which are these cats that are your industrial revolution kind of dominating faction that starts, as you see on the map already, everywhere. But they are very spread thin, and they are trying to recruit more animals into their cause, and they are trying to basically industrialize the woodland and try to just gather more troops. It's strength in numbers basically, and it plays out like a typical real-time strategy. Then you have the Iron Dynasty, which is the other big faction of the base game, which is basically an autocracy. You have this leader that will promise to do certain things, and those things will play out exactly like a program, action programming kind of mechanic, where it will go build, recruit, and move and attack over and over again, and it needs to happen exactly in that order and exactly as many times as you say it's going to happen. Otherwise everything falls down, and your faction, the Iron, will depose that leader, and then you will have to come up with a new leader that will have a different proposal, but basically it means that we'll start absolutely from scratch. The other faction is the Woodland Alliance The Woodland Alliance is your insurgent faction. Remember that we were talking about counter-insurgent before? The Woodland Alliance is your guerrilla faction. Basically, they are going to be gathering supporters for their cause. Underground, they won't have a presence in the map for a while during the early stages of the game. And then at one point, they will do pretty much a terrorist attack. At one point, they will just wipe out an entire clearing of the map. And then they will start having bases in there, and then they will start spreading visibly on the map. But before that, they will just be gathering supporters and just creating destabilization on the woodland. That is quite the analogy for a real world factions. The last faction on the base game is the Vagabond. The Vagabond plays absolutely different from everyone else. You have a single piece in the map, and it plays out exactly like a role-playing game where you have your little guy or girl that will walk around the woodland, and it will help or be against the other factions that are playing on the map, and they will do quests to help the people from the woodland. And they will also gather items that they will get from the ruins. They will be able also to exchange gifts for the other factions in the map in exchange for those items, and thus improve or worsen their influence over those factions. So they can be your best friend or they can be your worst enemy. The good things about the game, I think the art is absolutely amazing. I mean, everything by Kyle Ferrin, it's really good, and it's obviously published by Leader Games, and they have the same combo of Cole Wehrle and Kyle Ferrin in other designs, like arcs, for example, and they always just hit it out of the park. They're an amazing duo. But yeah, again, don't let yourself be fooled by the art. This is a hardcore wargame, a very confrontative wargame. Another good thing about the game, the way that just factions interact with each other, it's really mind-blowing. It's really amazing. Once you actually get past that learning curve initially, then you will notice how everything is interconnected. Even if things work completely differently for the base factions, then just everything just intertwines in the game, and it's really amazing. It's one of the few times that I have seen asymmetry done this well, and that makes this game to be very replayable, even with the base factions. But if you add the 9 factions from the expansions, which I have all of them in here, you can see there's a bunch. Then just the amount of combinations that you can have in between the different factions just makes it endlessly replayable. And you have a bunch of other extras that you can get, like an additional deck. Now in the Kickstarter there's also a third deck that is going to come out. There's different maps also. There's multiple maps actually where you can randomize the different clearings on the map, where each clearing will have suit, which will be either fox or mouse or rabbit, and those will be used for these cards that you can craft that I explained at the beginning, where you basically have to match the suit, or you need to have some crafting mechanic in those suits to be able to craft those cards. Yeah, I mean, I always want to play Root. I think I always have fun when playing it, and I will never say no to it. There's a problem with less than 4 players, especially in the base game. 4 players is the absolute desired player count. If you play 3 players, it might be a little bit, it might feel a little bit loose on the map, so there's not that much interaction. And at 2 players, it completely falls down, in my opinion, until you go to the expansions, where they added multiple tools that you can use to basically counteract that lack of activity in the map at 2 and 3 players. One of those are the hirelings. Hirelings are like neutral units that you can bid for control during the game. So it works very similar to the Game of Thrones expansion system for the allies, if you have played that. And then you also have a couple of expansions for automas. That's not my favorite way to play the game, because I don't like managing other NPC players, but that's an option. You can even play solo if you want. There's a lot of people online that actually made matchups of all automas, so it's the game playing itself and the people are just managing the computer players, but they actually don't have a presence in the map, so that's quite funny. So yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it. Reasons why you wouldn't like this game is a difficulty curve that I mentioned at the beginning. It's a challenge to learn the game if you're not used to this level of complexity in games. It's a challenge to teach the game to other people. So just have that in mind and have actually like a speech prepared for teaching the game that you can practice at home if you wish. And then if you're like a serious wargamer, then maybe you wouldn't like the cutesy art by Kyle Ferrin. I think it's amazing. And it also has an element of king making, or just when someone is winning by a lot, then the other 3 players are usually going to gang up against them and then take them down. And there's multiple factions where if you actually lose tokens in the map or lose some units or something else, then you're actually going to lose victory points. It's not that you just stay where you were, but you're actually going back in the track, which will completely destroy the game of that person that you're attacking. So take that in mind. It's a very, very head-to-head game. It's a very confrontative game. But if you don't mind any of those things, and if you have a stable playing group which you can try different strategies and factions with and try the different matchups, I think you're going to have an absolute amazing time with Root. It's extremely recommended. It's if you've seen my top 5 games, this is my number 2 game if I'm not mistaken. I really love it. I think everything that has been published for it. I cannot recommend it enough. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you played the game, if you enjoyed, if you hate it, if you would like me to review some of the factions from the expansions, or just general comments about the game. And that was it for today for the Board Games family. I hope you had a great time and see you soon.